Hi, my name is Douglas Summerlin, and this is my ENME489Y QR code recognition project using the Raspberry Pi and the OpenCV library in Python.
Here we have the QR code O1.py program written in the lecture series. We first open the video feed with the cv2.video capture program. We then define the detector from the cv2 QR code library. With the while true loop, we create an infinite loop where we take an image from the video feed and run it through the detection algorithm to identify a possible QR code. If this QR code is detected, we create a bounding box around it, interpret the code as data, draw the bounding box around the code on the video feed, print the text on the video feed, and finally print the data to the terminal. This will continue until we break out of the loop by pressing the Q key.
So here I'm going to run the QR code O1.py program to prove its functionality. So here when I run the program, my video feed pops up. This is my Raspberry Pi and the video camera module connected to that USB-C power source. Using my brother's phone to generate a QR code. It says I am turning in this assignment late. Generate that QR code. Scroll up a little bit. I will point it at that camera, and you can see that the camera module is picking it up, briefly flashing some text and creating the bounding box around the QR code whenever it is detected. So yeah, we've got some effective functionality of the QR code program basically.
So for my creative project, I decided to adapt the QR code that we wrote in class and create a tic-tac-toe game. And to do this, I found some code online that created a tic-tac-toe board with a series of print statements and defined the different squares of the board with an array from 0 to 8 for 9 total squares. I added some print statements of my own to define how the game's played. And as far as acceptable QR code inputs go, it is an X or an O followed by the grid number to mark the square. For example, X3, 06, or X8. To implement this functionality, I went into the data section of the loop, and I said for I in range of the length of the board from 0 to 8, if the QR code reads like an X0 or like an 07 or something like that, we'll take the 7 or the 8 for that range in the for loop, and we'll create a string from it, and then we'll say if that data is matching that string that we've detected, then we'll go to that ith value of that array and put an X or an O there, and then print that X is moved or O is moved, and that functionality is pretty much the same.
A QR code tic-tac-toe program to demonstrate its functionality. So it works similarly to the regular program, except for when we run the program, the video feed pops up on the Raspberry Pi and we print the tic-tac-toe board in the terminal, accompanied by a few messages. It says, welcome to the QR code tic-tac-toe. This board is laid out like this. Enter X or O followed by the grid number to mark square. So I took my little brother's phone to generate a QR code. We're going to generate X5. And we'll zoom in on that and present that to the video feed. And once it gets a detection, you can see that it prints X has moved, O's turn, and the 5 in the grid is replaced by an X. So to prove its robustness, we'll create a new code. We'll make this one 0, not O, 0. So we'll do 0. And why not 0? So we'll generate that code. And then zoom in on that. Present that to the video feed. And then once it gets a detection, it says that O has moved and it's X's turn. And if you go further, if you go in the earlier in the video, this was actually a 0 and we replaced it with an O, and you can tell because there was a dot in the middle for the 0. So yeah, that's how I got creative with this project.